In this episode, we'll be discussing why CarMax, an ingeniously conceived car dealer group, might not be what they're all cracked up to be. Are they the wolf in sheep's clothing? Stay tuned and find out. Hello, my name is Jim. I'm here with you today with another Automotive One Take. No AI, no edits, just valuable information about car shopping and the car business. Presented to you in one shot, unedited. But before we begin, this video is sponsored by the Car Dealer Cure. We are a car buying consulting service. We cure car buyers of the car shopping disorder. Our experienced staff has worked in every role at car dealerships, from salesperson to general manager. We handle every aspect of the car buying experience for you, from locating your perfect vehicle to negotiating the best price on the car, on your trade-in, the interest rate, on any warranty extras, and then we arrange for a remote signing for you so that you can avoid the dealership pressure cooker. Most of our clients save far more time and money than our service costs. Tired of car dealerships? Allow us to cure you of your car buying ailment. Contact us today for a free discovery call. Okay, CarMax. Are they just a wolf in sheep's clothing? Well, there's a lot of good that can be said about a business model like the one at CarMax. CarMax basically turned the car business on its head decades ago by popularizing the one price, no haggle pricing model, effectively eliminating a major gripe that car buyers have about dealing with car dealerships: the aggravation and the headaches associated with the whole back and forth process of negotiating, the time waste that results from it, and the fatigue that ensues from all of that back and forth. Fatigue that a mainstream car dealership is counting on by plunking you down into that ridiculous and quite intentional exercise of dragging the negotiating process out. And then the remorse that follows when the car buyer is wondering if they got a good deal or if they were taken for a ride. CarMax devised a plan where the price you see is the price you can buy the car for. And that's it. I visited CarMax maybe a dozen times over the years, sometimes just browsing, sometimes when I was helping a friend or an acquaintance, a couple of times when I was selling a vehicle to them. The in-store experience at the CarMax locations that I visited were always quite pleasant. What I would consider to be the exact opposite of a typical dealership pressure cooker environment. And I believe it's because CarMax created a culture that was not only no pressure for their customers, but was also laid back and easygoing for its employees. People think that visiting a car dealership is a high pressure exercise. Try working for one of these chuckleheads, and you'll soon understand why car salesmen are so high pressure. It's because crap, as in poop, flows downhill from the executives and the owners at the top, down through to middle management, and then eventually to the peons who are out there making everything happen at the dealership from day to day. And a salesperson doesn't earn 1 red cent until they sell you a car. Remember that the next time you take up countless hours of a salesperson's time, don't buy anything and then ghost them when they try to follow up with you. So at CarMax, the employees are relaxed and chill. They're helpful. The environment is relaxed and chill. There are no circus shenanigans, no junk mail scratch-offs telling you you won something and you need to come visit the store to collect your prize, no spin the wheel contests, no carnival games where you throw the ball and hit the bullseye and the dwarf falls into a boiling pool of vegetable oil and you win yourself an egg salad sandwich and you take a picture next to the deep fried dwarf. CarMax doesn't subscribe to any of that nonsense. With CarMax, it's a transaction, a pleasant transaction, whether you're buying from them or selling to them. I've always gotten this sense of pleasant indifference from CarMax. It's like, hey, you can do business with us or not. It's really no big deal either way. Let's still be friends. And what a powerful differentiator that is from most car dealerships. I want to share with you a story of one of my experiences of doing business with CarMax. It was a good experience. It was a great experience, in fact, for me. All of my experiences with CarMax have been great, actually, but I've also never purchased a car from them. In January of this year, I sold my personal vehicle to CarMax. Back in 2019, I bought a brand new 2019 Toyota Camry Hybrid XLE. For context, I'll tell you how much I paid. The car was $39,300 on the sticker, on the MSRP. I was in the business back then, and I purchased from a store that I had once worked at, so I had some influence. I think there was $1,000 or a $1,500 rebate back then, and the rest was a discount that I worked out. I paid something like just under $34,000 for the car. It might have been like $33,800. Decent, but I'd worked with all those guys before, and they were all my friends, and I just knew what they were able to do. And I was just a quick unit sale to them. Anyway, so $33,800 before tax, title, and license. I kept that car for just over 6 years. I put below average mileage on it. It was sitting at about 35,000 miles when I eventually got rid of it. It was overly serviced and maintained during those 6 years. As I had mentioned, I worked for car dealerships, so it was just very easy to keep up with the maintenance every time. I would just go to work and here are the keys to my car, and by the end of the day, my car was ready for me. The cosmetics were very nice. It was never in an accident. I'm one of these door ding phobia people, and one of these park the length of a football field away from the store kind of people, and then leave myself a long walk into the store just to avoid the door dings. My girlfriend loves that move. But I didn't have a single door ding on that car 6 years later. I'm a long-time auto detailing hobbyist, so you can imagine what the cosmetics looked like in this car. It was probably one of the nicest 2019 hybrid Camrys you were going to find in early 2026. I get my buy offer from CarMax. It was $21,700. Amazing. It cost me about $12,000, or roughly $2,000 a year, to drive this car and average 40 miles to the gallon in a fully loaded Camry hybrid. Kudos to Toyota. But also, thank you, CarMax. I took that check and I ran. I was keen to follow the story of my car as CarMax took it in, processed it, and relisted it for sale. I was following the retail comparables in the rest of the country. Identical 2019 Camry hybrids with similar mileage were selling for about mid-20s retail at dealerships. This checked out for me. A dealer needs to buy wholesale, leave a little room for expenses, and then list it with a tidy profit baked in. And in my mind, I was expecting to see that car listed for $24,900, $25,900, maybe even $26,500 or so when CarMax put it out there for sale. At the stores that I worked at, we generally had an average of $1,500 to $2,000 of reconditioning expense on our used cars before we listed them for sale, which I know they wouldn't have spent anything close to that on mine. I've professionally appraised cars before, and my car legitimately needed nothing. It was clean and straight. The servicing was up to date, only 3,000 miles on a new set of tires. It would have gotten a full inspection from CarMax, a token oil change, oil and filter change, and on a wash and a wax. And that was it. The car went from East Central Florida, where I sold it to them, to somewhere up near Atlanta, Georgia. The transport up to Georgia alone probably cost them more than the reconditioning expense that car needed. So I'm thinking CarMax needs to be prepared to be into that car for no more than, say, $23,000, so they can list it at about $25,000, $26,000, and make themselves a decent profit before the F&I office, the back end, where they'll potentially make even more money on the back with their financing and warranties and so forth. So I'm watching their website, and then boom, about 2 weeks later, my old car shows up on their site for sale. And they had it listed for $27,998, effectively $28,000. And you have to remember that CarMax is a no-haggle store. The price is the price. I would imagine if they have used cars that stick around for a little while, they probably reduce the advertised prices on some of their cars, like after a month or 2 months or 3 months of no bites. Not uncommon to reduce the advertised price down the older a unit becomes. And if they did that, then the new advertised price, the reduced price, would become the new price. So I was waiting around to see if that happened to my old car, because my old car at $28,000 retail would have certainly been one of the most expensive 2019 XLE hybrid Camrys in the country at that time, by a few $1,000s. So I'm thinking, no way they get all that money. Even in a state like Georgia, where CarMax doesn't have a processing fee, you're still talking 6.6% state sales tax and probably a couple of bucks on DMV fees, if their buyer is in state. But we're talking $30,000 out the door if they sell it at asking price. Within about 8 days, I see that CarMax put their little reserve tag on the website listing. Somebody put a deposit on it. Somebody wanted it. At an out the door of close to $30,000. Someone paid $28,000 for it. I paid just under $34,000 6 years prior. It cost me $12,000 to drive that car for 6 years, and the second owner had to lose $10,000 just to purchase it. Now, a lot can be said about the state of the new and used car market in recent years. Supply issues with new car manufacturers have affected the resale values on used cars, but I helped my girlfriend acquire a brand new 2026 Camry Hybrid XLE just 2 months ago, about 5 months after I sold my 6-year-old car to CarMax, and we still got her more than 13% off of MSRP on that car just this year. A little more if you consider that we got an additional discount to wash out the processing and administrative fees that the dealer was charging. So I tell you all of that to tell you this. Suppose for a minute that you were that person who purchased my previous car from CarMax. You signed up at $27,998. If a Georgia resident purchased that car, they were on the hook for about for another 6.6% sales tax. That's about $1,850. Depending on where you live in the country, it's probably about similar. And then the odd fee for this and that. But at the end of the day, you committed $30,000 to this automobile. And then suppose a month later, you decide, well, this car is great, but I want to buy a brand new Camry. They seem to be selling new for not that much more than what I just paid for this one. So maybe your first stop is to CarMax to see what they'd offer you for it so that you can research what you should be expecting along the lines of a trade-in value on it. Just a month prior, CarMax paid me $21,700 for that car. Most cars don't go up in value with age and mileage. The customer would have likely been looking at, and I'm not CarMax, but logically, maybe $21,500, $21,300, assuming they didn't put very many miles on that car. And CarMax is known for putting slightly above average money on their trade-ins and their buy-figure appraisals. They're slightly more generous than the competition. So you walk into a Toyota store looking to trade that 2019 direct for a brand new one. What's a Toyota franchise going to offer you? $19,000 maybe? $20,000 max? If you did a zero money down loan on that 2019 Camry with CarMax, as probably about a third of car buyers that I've worked with will do, is put little to no money down, you're sitting on a $30,000 bank loan for something that you're being told is now worth maybe $20,000 a month later. Wholly negative equity. Oh, well, I always just pay cash for my cars. Yeah, congratulations, you just threw away about $10,000 within a span of about 4 to 6 weeks. So why is this important? CarMax is a phenomenal organization. They're a beast, and they've grown by leaps and bounds since their inception. But what I think a lot of people lose sight of is that a no haggle pricing policy, at least through CarMax, doesn't also mean that you're getting the best deal. It doesn't even mean that you're getting a good deal. From the perspective of someone who has worked in the car business and has engaged in the back and forth cha-cha-cha with car buyers and sellers, CarMax's no haggle policy, from my perspective, can be translated like this. We're going to ask for all of the money, which is just a starting point for most dealers, and well, we'll just be a no haggle dealer. So boom, pay us everything, and you'll save the headache and anxiety of the negotiating process. Sounds great, doesn't it? That's every other car dealership's dream, for folks to just come in and lay down and pay them what they're asking. And CarMax does it with a smile, and people love them for it. I founded the Car Dealer Cure to help car buyers do battle with car dealerships, to help them level the playing field so that they can hire an insider to go in and play the game for them. You know what else is a no haggle car buying experience? Having an expert do all of the heavy lifting, time wasting, and sword fighting for them, and still walking away with a phenomenal car deal. That's the real no haggle experience. And if you're thinking this is a self-serving video, you bet your sweet tookus it is. So that's it for now. If we are able to spare you the aggravation of the car buying experience, please let us know. We have the elixir for the car dealership disorder, and most of our clients save more in their car deals than what they pay us in fees. We're located at thecardealercure.com. The link is in the description below. Thanks very much for watching.